Vikas Khanna, one of the most iconic chefs that has sponsored half my body weight through COVID, which I actually lost, by the way, so I'm very proud of myself. But no, beyond that, he's an extraordinary citizen of the world, focused on philanthropy, high impact philanthropy, as well as someone that's spiritual by nature and really walks all of his ideas in action. Vikas, stage is yours.
In my culture, a man coming on a podium and talking about mental health is almost a disgrace to many people within the family itself. Being a chef and during such a high tide life, neck-breaking success and failures, you feel that you need to speak what it costs your mental health. I was very young when I started working. I was 13 years old when me and my grandmom started selling fried breads in schools. So she'll cook it and we'll go, and we will never charge anyone because she felt it was horrible to ask kids for money. So we'd be just standing in line doing everything for free. My father would always say that you should name your business charity. But my sister was very proud of this. She said, but you fed them and you made them happy, but you always had this constant smile which God has given you. I started believing in that magic, and at 16 and a half, I started my own business to have some money in the family. And I felt that I was a great chef because my sister said so. And later I graduated, I did a lot of hotel management, everything, started the banquets as I was a kid, expanded it to a multi-million rupee business, became one of the richest caterer in Punjab. And then one day there was a conflict with a government official and it destroyed my whole place. And I was back on the street. But that shame of failing was so high, and I went into severe depression. And there was no way I could resolve this conflict because the government officials would come and threaten me again and again. And I was an artist, so I did not know how to fight that war. So my brother and my sister sat me down in the night and gave me Jonathan Livingston's book, Seagull, Richard Bach's book. I read the book and I felt that there must be higher skies for me maybe when all the doors are shut on me. I went to American Embassy, told them the truth, got the visa. Unheard of for a boy of my age. I was 29, moved to New York, fell in love with the city wholeheartedly. This is a city which demands from you. It's the most ironical city in the world. The loneliest and the busiest, the hardest and the easiest, the most generous and the most selfish. Everything in single statement.
Very well said.
But the city is also built on resilience. And I started working my way up. And my sister came and she joined FIT. And I'm here because of a lot of credit goes to her. She was the only friend I ever had. I never had friends growing up because I had some physical disabilities, so I looked different, I walked different. And she became my biggest supporter. And when I had to leave home, I told my grandmom, she's saying, we have food at home. You don't always have to build something, you can just survive on what we have. And I told her, you remember in school they used to tell me that only white chefs are supreme and only they get this award, which is called the Michelin stars. And they are honored on all the walls. And my teacher told me that you are here as a worker, you're not a leader. You got to work hard so that the white people can get the awards. And somehow my grandfather, being a freedom fighter, that hurt me. So I used that string, to tell my grandmom, I'm going to America and I'm going to win that award for my country. On that wall, there'll be somebody from our DNA. I struggled hard, got the Michelin October 4th, 2011, and for many years I was the only chef in the Western world to have a Michelin star. And then things changed. My sister was diagnosed with lupus, and every day she kept saying that you are the gifted one out of 1.4 billion people. You can touch food and people feel it sacred. And she said that, you need to un-restaurant yourself, like that selling of the breads with the chickpeas. It was not about the money. It was giving those kids happiness. And I had stopped thinking about that. And she's in and out of Columbia emergency room every single day. We were fighting new wars. Her body was transforming. more organs were failing. And then I remember COVID happened, and I did not know how to divert my pain. I was in extreme depression, seeing the only friend I have, I was losing her. All night being awake and calling the emergency room. They said, is she okay? What is the new test? Please don't poke her the needles. That was my only life. For so many years, that was my only life. But to the world, you had to show this brave, young, successful man constantly evolving and happy. And guys, be like this, Indian food and everything. But there was such a different dark side to it. And then February 28th, 2 years ago, I lost her in my arms. And we were supposed to have a kidney transplant on 10th March. But she just gave up. The doctor says she's giving up because she feels that this might come true. The last request for to her was that you need to unrestaurant yourself. I want my brother to be the same kid who used to sell breads and feel so proud that there was nothing about money. It was always about, today we had 200 kids who ate fried breads. She said, be that guy again. I hate this whole thing about the Michelin crown and the greatest chef. She's saying, that doesn't impress me anymore. I want my little boy to be the warrior and win one more time. And we opened bungalow just on her, which would have been her 50th birthday. We opened the restaurant to celebrate her life. We had almost 2,000 people standing outside the restaurant in rain and storm just to welcome a new birth. I went through therapies and all. This is for all the kids who spoke before me. I did not plan to be saying this part of me in such vulnerability. It's because you gave me the courage. At my age, I'm 53, it's not easy for a man to come out and say that I've been through these dark tunnels, which there was no hope for light. There was no hope. And, I was going through way too many lawsuits and a lot of people trying to crush me and my career. But just the promise with her kept me going. I went through therapy, and this girl was so amazing, and she told me, you don't need therapy. When you have so much pain, you need creativity. You need to divert all the pain into something magnificent. She's saying you create something, what she wanted you to do, that you don't, people are not coming to eat food, they're coming to eat a sacred sacrament. They're not coming and they're not making a journey, they're making a pilgrimage to your restaurant. Think, you've got to be that guy, what she told you. So use all your pain and brokenness and isolation and always being told that you are the other one, you're not a part of this. Use all that conflicts within your mind and create something so magnificent. And I'm like, okay, just take your broken heart and turn it into art, she said. I followed that, and then I met my partner Jimmy here. And then he told me about this project, what we were working on, bungalow. I gave him my heart. I don't know how, we talked about earlier, so no halves. So I don't know how to give my half heart to somebody. It has to be full heart. So it is with him. And with my little baby bungalow, we have yesterday Reggie said that we are the hardest reservations in America right now, being fully sold out under 10 seconds. It is not because of the restaurant. There are 20,000 restaurants, it is not about the restaurant. It's because of that one image. I see her laughing, it's in the wall of the restaurant. And my mother always tells me that I've never seen you so happy again. I hope this restaurant gives you happiness. So the art we create has to be in one form, which it not only gives happiness to people who are the receiving end, but the person who's creating it every evening. 5 o'clock I come out and start meeting and greeting people. Till the last table has to leave, I have to say goodbye. And people say, you're wealthy enough, you're successful, you don't have to prove anything. I said, I have to keep her alive. I have to keep her alive every single day. So I think that for me, dealing with mental health, and I feel therapy helps, things help, but actually only you can help. Only you can tell your mind to tell that story. Only you have that power to tell the mind. And this part of me, the world hasn't seen yet, that what I've gone through. People just saw that extremely glamorous career being created, and telling the kids back home in India, be Indian chefs, that world was always white chefs. We are not less. We can prove it. We can create our own walls. We can be ourselves. And nobody comes to the colleges and asks the professor and says that you're not enough. So that's why your pictures are not there.